7th round. We're back at the Broadway by the Bay Theater. Harrah's Marina Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. Bruce Beck and Randy Gordon with you. This our main event. Mark McPherson and Keith Adams. Keith Adams showing a little bit of spunk in that last round, bouncing back.
He started the round nice. He finished the round nice, but I thought everything in between was Mark McPherson. I gave him the round. I've got him winning the fight. Not by all that much.
But enough that he's got to win the next couple rounds, or one of the 2 rounds to stay in it.
Neither man is dominant in the fight. They each have their moments. Neither guy has been hurt in the fight. The only visible mark, a cut around the left eye of Mark McPherson, suffered in about midway through the first round. I believe it was a clash of heads. Cut man Jimmy Glenn has done a tremendous job keeping it closed.
And that's a part of boxing that receives little attention and yet is so important. And McPherson's starting to get a little puffy under the eyes, and we often see that from McPherson in fights. Well, there was a right hand that backed up Adams.
This is about the point of the fight where I thought McPherson might start catching up to Adams, and sure enough, that right hand has him on dizzy drive.
McPherson looking to end it, has Adams up against the ropes. Continuing to launch rights, but Adams is hanging in there. A much-needed break for Keith Adams.
How much is this taking out of Keith Adams, even if he does survive the round?
How much is it taking out of McPherson if Adams survives the round?
Well, this is where that tremendous training, constant training on the part of McPherson will pay off. I do not believe he's a fighter who will punch himself out with just one massive flurry. He's capable of going to war.
Unlike the bout with Earl Mormon we saw moments ago, where Mormon had the opportunity to take the fighter out and didn't. McPherson knows that with less than 40 seconds to go in this round, he has a man in trouble, and he is trying desperately to finish him off.
You're seeing too many headshots on the part of McPherson. He should be drilling the body, because Adams is just covering that head up.
Adams doing a good job defending the body. That could be one of the reasons that McPherson's not getting the punches to the body the way he would like to.
That was called surviving a round.
Oh, that's for sure.
Adams hurt for about 1/2 of that round. Look at that right hand crash into the chin. He just sucked it up right there and said, don't fall down. Keep going, move. McPherson wasn't putting on the heaviest pressure in the world, and he gave Adams time to get out of there, but backed him along the ropes again, drilled him with a few more right hands. Talk about Adams' chin. Look at that guy. Stand there, soak it up.
Yeah, he doesn't look like it's bothering him. I mean, he's taking the punches, but...
Oh, I think he looks like he's bothering him.
Maybe a little. There's the killer instinct. Look at that. Look at McPherson.
Face of McPherson. He wants it.
Yeah, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to want to finish off your man. There was the fire in the eyes of McPherson. Round number 8, scheduled for 10. McPherson weighed in at 157.5. Adams at 158.25. McPherson, they call him the River. He got it because his favorite singer is Joni Mitchell. It's a Joni Mitchell song. And in the song, it talks about making a lot of money and then quitting the crazy scene, something McPherson would like to do someday.
McPherson has a dream of becoming... One day he said he was going to be junior middleweight champion, but the body grew. He now believes he can become middleweight champ. I think one day when Marvelous Marvin Hagler does retire, all the middleweights in the world are going to rent out a big hall and throw a massive party.
They all think they're going to get the title.
Everybody has a shot once Marvelous gets out of there. Mark McPherson missed a shot, then banged his gloves together in anger like, how could I miss that shot?
That was a nice uppercut, the right uppercut by Keith Adams. Hasn't thrown a lot of uppercuts tonight, but you remember back in the 3rd round, He threw a couple. That was another punch by McPherson that bordered on the low blow.
Hard jab by McPherson. Not all of them got in, but even when they landed on the arms of Adams, they knocked him off balance. He set that right hand up.
He sure did.
3 left hands. And although Adams is keeping the hands high, actually he's lucky he's keeping his hands high. Those shots are knocking him off balance. The legs of Adams are starting to go.
Mark McPherson, 18-2, his only 2 losses to Mike Tinley back in 1982, an 8-round decision here in Atlantic City. And to Dwayne Thomas, the USBA junior middleweight champion, in a championship bout in May of 1985. Inside 60 seconds.
Just love watching Mark McPherson fight. Why? Because he's just a credit to boxing the way he's always in shape. The legs are honed, the body's honed. Just, you never see the kid breathing hard. That's the kind of condition he's in. And Adams is also in great shape. Not many guys can have soaked up the leather. He soaked up last round.
Scouting report of McPherson can go the distance in quotation marks. You don't acquiesce with those thoughts, do you?
Oh, no. These guys are in world-class shape.
Adams still has his legs, and that's one of the telltale signs. We'll be back with more from Harrah's Marina. For Keith Adams as we move to the 9th round. He has not fought a bad fight at all, but I'd have to believe he's behind significantly.
I've got it 6 rounds McPherson and 2 for Adams.
And I have it 5-2-1 McPherson. Adams still on his toes.
Mark McPherson has taken up a new hobby when he's not training, which he does just about all day long. He's writing poetry and short stories. He says he wants to sell a short story to a boxing magazine about how a fighter goes about getting ready for a fight, what he goes through on fight day. I think a story like that, especially from such a loquacious, bright, young, energetic guy like McPherson, would make interesting reading.
Absolutely. How he has to deal with you on fight day, listen to all your questions. I mean, it's not easy for a fighter.
Upsetting the fighter. Thank you, Bruce.
Ooh, McPherson answering. That right hand has been in there often.
I take enough abuse from the fighters themselves, from Sam Rose, and now from you. Thank you.
You can almost sense when Adams is going to throw 2 or 3 punches in a row, when he's going to throw a combination or something else, because he starts with his feet and he starts moving and turning.
A lot of the exceptional fighters throughout history, Sugar Ray Robinson said when he was in front of a man, he could always tell when the guy was about to launch a punch because he'd see a muscle quiver in the shoulders. I mean, that's eyesight.
And that's concentration. Adams with the uppercut. Ooh, McPherson with a punishing combination.
Well, the critics would look at that one and say, see, McPherson still is not a banger. But then the fans of Keith Adams would say, hey, wait a minute. Our guy has a great chin.
Adams certainly does.
I think it's a bit of both. The fact that you've got a real solid jawed guy in there against the guy who is not he's not a Mugabe kind of hitter, but he certainly is not a slap shot hitter, just a pop gun hitter.
Adams really showed the chin in the 7th round when he took a barrage of punches and somehow survived. Good round of boxing. One more round to go. And Keith Adams sucking it up, showing no signs of fatigue. And don't forget another venue, which will be the site of excellent boxing, Thursday, July 10th, Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden. Continental America Super Featherweight Championship, Johnny De La Rosa and Jackie Beard.
Johnny De La Rosa, loser of only 2 fights out of close to 30. Jackie Beard has lost only once in his professional career in 27 fights. World-class matchup. And Ronaldo Mr. Snipes is returning. He doesn't like the way the heavyweight division looks. Coming against Bobby Crabtree, who's coming off a first-round knockout.
Tickets are available at the box office at Madison Square Garden. Thursday, July 10th. 10th and final round. Mark McPherson and Keith Adams, who have given us an entertaining fight, to say the least. And the 10th starts out with the kind of action we saw in many of the early rounds.
McPherson was trying to pull himself away from Adams and wanted to stay close. McPherson going to try to come up with those 2 right hands, which knocked out Anthony Holt in April. See if he can come up with those 2 and get rid of Adams.
A credit to McPherson in the sense that his punches, I feel, sitting here at ringside, had the same sting that they did early on. And oftentimes in a fight, 8th, 9th, 10th rounds ran, you start to see those punches a little bit more lazy, a little bit softer.
And those gloves start to feel like, you say, wait a minute, are these 8-ounce gloves or 8-pound gloves? But McPherson is calling on some of that experience over the last 3 years, going back to 1983. 11 fights in a row now. He has gone past the 8th round. In his 3 fights in 1983, there were 3 decisions, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and 8 rounds. In 1984, there were 4 more decisions, 8, 8, 10, and 8. And then in 1985, he went into the 10th round twice. And then this year against Anthony Holt into the 10th round, and here we are again in the 10th round. So he has gotten a lot of rounds of experience over the last 3 years.
McPherson has been tagging Adams with the right. His last fight, he stopped his man in the 10th, and he may be on his way to doing the same here tonight. He stopped Arthur Anthony Holt in the 10th round of a scheduled 10-rounder at Madison Square Garden in April. And now he is trying to finish off Keith Adams in this, the 10th and final round. Talk about endurance and durability. He has it. McPherson has Adams all over the place, and that is it. Nope. Yeah, Frank Cappuccino has stopped the fight.
So it's a punching power of Mark McPherson again. He's saying, I can't believe it. That's twice in the 10th round in a row.
He has to work the entire fight to finally end it in the 10th.
That's conditioning. He didn't wear down. A yeah and a whoa, and then a wow.
What a fight by Mark McPherson. That's the best way. Why put the decision in the hands of the judges when you can go out there and stop it?
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Frank Cappuccino stops this bout at 2 minutes and 26 seconds of the 10th round, and a winner by a TKO, Mark River McPherson. McPherson. Have a nice round of applause for
The finishing blows. In comes McPherson, leaning into his shots. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. That right hand almost
Keith Adams,
the rope. Almost went into orbit there. Frank Cappuccino says, head to the neutral corner, pal. And then the finishing series of blows. Keith Adams rocking and reeling, doing everything he can to stand up. Never went down, to his credit. Unbelievable chin. Frank Cappuccino saw enough, looked into the eyes, said, that's it, take a shower.
So McPherson now improves to 19-2. 8th knockout, 2nd in a row. And Mark McPherson a winner tonight at Harrah's. We'll be back with more from Harrah's Marina. Over Keith Adams hurting Adams in the 7th round. And then in the 10th, scoring a TKO at 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Mark McPherson out of Lakeview, New York, 24 years of age, improving to 19-2. Randy Gordon is with the winner. Randy?
Well, that's 2 fights in a row now where Mark McPherson went into the 10th round to knock his man out. What do you?
I'd like to thank God, whose love makes all this possible. And